A man who has been missing for 137 years just walked into my precinct. They said it was the native in me that makes me such a good tracker. I have found 16 missing people in Nevada, 23 in California, 49 in Utah, and over 100 here in Washington. I have found that the town of Black Lake in Washington State is the most beautiful, and that is where I wanted to settle down with the woman I met while fishing the lake. She was lucky enough to find a job teaching 2nd and 4th grade in PE at the local elementary. I was lucky enough to find a job with the local PD and earn enough to support my family, which included a baby daughter now. The Black Lake precinct put me on missing persons cases, which there were a lot of. A town this size would have a dozen a year, tops. Big cities have thousands. But Black Lake has historic losses in the tens of thousands, kept quiet by local politicians. I learned from the old chief that entire neighborhoods and blocks of people would go missing overnight, and I tried my best to find at least a handful of people. I never recovered a single missing person during my short stay as an officer at Black Lake. This afternoon, while I was on night duty, and Rod Sterling was telling me again about the pinnacles of man's knowledge and the depths of his fear through a 13-inch black and white TV, a man with wrapped feet and wearing rough sewn pants and a lopsided pajama tee pushed himself through the doors of my precinct, panned his head around with an odd and frightened stare, and asked me for a drink of water. I led the man back to our soft chambers and gave a cup of water to him. I asked him for his name, which he gave as Silas McMurray. As I entered his name on my smartphone, he stared at it like an alien creature. His name brought up one missing persons file. The name was from the old legacy system. It was a missing persons report from 1879, which included a scan of a lovely hand-drawn portrait of the man in question, down to his crooked nose and light beard. It was him. No mistaking. Silas was a successful machine oil merchant and well loved by the community, as stated by his file. I showed my tablet to him, which he took like some holy, glowing relic. I am ashamed to admit that I assumed he was on drugs when I asked him how he came here. The Room 5A bug recorded this at 10:34 p.m. I awoke one night needing to use my outhouse. When outside, I was overcome by a white light. I don't remember anything until coming to the pink room, where I saw what little there was to see. A galley of separated slaves like me, all collected from zoos around the universe. Something told me that everything here, including humans, was once an intelligent race, long ago, kept on our planets as protected habitats. They only seem to take the healthy and happy ones. I was in the second galley, the second hardest to speak to. They prize the first galley. There are creatures above us. Men, I mean. Creatures of light and pure electricity they are. Those that own the ship talk to them the most and let them free all the time. All on the second galley, like me, were slaves. I don't know what they do to the last galley. I have lived for 1,000 years, sir. That I can attest to the Lord. In that time, they lend me as a toy, as entertainment, as a pet. Every few hundred years, they send me back for one night because they believe it will make me happy. But no, it does not in the least. So please, keep me here. Lock me in your strongest cell. I beg you. They cannot take me again. I will never return. I am no longer healthy, nor happy. At Mr. McMurray's request, I escorted him to the silent room, a padded cinder-blocked cell, locked by a triple padlocked door. I slept sitting on a steel folding chair outside of his cell, propped up with an assault rifle, only to be awoken by a blinding flash of light and the sound of the universe's largest piece of Velcro being torn apart. It was gone as soon as it came. I unlocked the 3 locks on the cell and pulled it open to discover that Silas was gone. That night's report took 2 hours to explain. I came back to my home, expecting my tired, loving family. I found nothing but an empty home. I used every resource at my disposal, trying to find my loving wife and darling daughter. But in the end, they became just 2 more missing people in Black Lake's thick missing persons file. They were happy and healthy, you know? That is why they were taken, along with Silas. I believed even Silas was happy, locked in that cell I told him was safe. That is why I will never be aboard Silas's ship. I'll never feel happiness again.